Freedom has never been a simple notion, but what does it mean in our modern digital age? The internet and social media mean we can communicate more freely than ever, but we're also under more surveillance than ever before from governments and commercial organisations. Our BBC World Service poll began by asking people about freedom and the internet. More than 2/3 of those we questioned told us they thought the internet means they have greater freedom. But more than half also told us they thought it was an unsafe place in which to say what they think.
Edward Snowden's revelations about widespread surveillance by the US government have really had an impact on the public consciousness in terms of their understanding of the fact that anything they do online can potentially be monitored.
These days, the prying eyes of the state seem to be everywhere. Governments say they need surveillance to fight terrorism and crime. But what do the public think? In our survey, we asked people whether they felt free from monitoring by their own governments. The results were surprising. In countries like the United States and Germany, which like to think of themselves as bastions of freedom and democracy, fewer than half those surveyed said they felt free from government surveillance. In China and Russia, the picture was very different. A sizable majority said they didn't think they were subject to online surveillance.
We have about 80% of American and German households who do have access to internet in their homes, but less than half this proportion actually does in Russia and China. So it seems as though people in countries with higher internet connectivity naturally feel more exposed to the Snowden era of online surveillance, but this seems to be much less the case for people in countries with lower internet connected homes.
Finally, we asked about freedom and the media. Here at the BBC, we like to boast about our freedom from government and from other outside influences. There are other global media organisations that do the same. But according to our survey, only 40% of people around the world believe their own media are free to report the news accurately, truthfully, and without undue bias. Here in the UK, that figure's 45%. But in the United States, with its First Amendment commitment to free speech, it's just 42%. How free you feel, it seems, is not necessarily a reflection of how free the society in which you live is supposed to be. Nick Hyam, BBC News.